Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're looking at a habit that it's incredibly common. So common that many of us think it's totally harmless.
Yeah.
We're talking about moderate daily drinking.
Right. Not extreme consumption. This is the 2 or 3 drinks every evening.
Exactly. The wine with dinner, a couple of beers while you're watching the game. It's a lifestyle for millions of people.
Mhm.
So the question we're tackling in this deep dive is pretty simple. What happens inside your body when you do that, day in and day out, for 6 months?
Mm-hmm.
We're really focused on the persistence, that constant chemical input and how your body responds. How quickly does a routine that seems so normal start to reshape your liver, your sleep, your metabolism, and maybe most important, your brain?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's unpack this.
I think it's really important to frame this around consistency. The body is, well, it's a master of adaptation.
It adjusts to new normals.
It does. And when alcohol is there every single day, the body stops treating it like a one-off threat and, it starts integrating it into how the system functions. So we're distilling what the science shows about this half-year journey, where your body just never gets a day off from processing ethanol.
And when we start with the absolute frontline defense, the timeline for the initial changes is, honestly, it's startling.
It is.
We tend to think of liver problems as something that takes years of heavy abuse. But the sources we looked at say that fat starts accumulating in the liver. Well, it begins within the first few weeks.
Yeah, that's an almost immediate response. And it's a direct result of how the liver prioritizes tasks.
What do you mean by that?
Well, your liver handles over 500 different functions, but when alcohol shows up, detoxification jumps to the front of the line. It becomes priority number 1.
And breaking down that alcohol creates other problems.
Big problems. It creates a byproduct called acetaldehyde, which is highly toxic.
So that's the chemical villain, right? The one that gives you hangovers.
Exactly that. And while the liver is so focused on neutralizing that poison,
Right.
it stops doing its other jobs well. Specifically, it can't process fats efficiently anymore, so those fats just stay inside the liver cells.
They start to build up.
A buildup, or steatosis. And by month 2 of this daily habit, we see something else starting to happen. Key little enzymes are spiking.
And what are those enzymes telling us?
We're talking about enzymes like ALT and AST. Think of them as the liver's distress signals. When they show up in your blood in high numbers, it means liver cells are actually being damaged. They're bursting because the organ is working deep into overtime, constantly fighting that daily load of alcohol.
And that consistent strain, that leads directly to disease. The numbers here are what really make you pause.
They really show the true cost of persistence. Studies show that 71% of people who are moderate daily drinkers will develop some form of liver disease over time.
71%.
Now, compare that to occasional drinkers. Their risk drops to about 10%. What's fascinating here is that the daily amount might seem moderate, but it's the consistency. The relentless chemical attack is what drives that huge increase in risk. The liver just never, ever gets a break to repair itself.
Okay, so that's the physical machinery. But what if we shift to the operating system, the brain and our sleep? So many people use alcohol to help them fall asleep.
Oh, it's the ultimate illusion. Alcohol is a sedative, so yes, it does help you fall asleep faster.
Right.
But the quality of that sleep just completely craters. Alcohol fragments the entire architecture of your night.
So you could be in bed for 8 hours, but you're not getting, truly restorative sleep.
Not even close. Alcohol is a major suppressor of REM sleep, rapid eye movement.
And that's the important stage.
It's the most important one. It's where your memory gets consolidated, where emotional processing happens. It's when the brain literally cleans house. If you're drinking every night, you're short-circuiting that deep cleaning cycle.
But wait, if alcohol is a depressant, why do the sources say people feel chronic fatigue by month 3? Shouldn't you just feel relaxed?
That is such a critical question. It connects to this chemical rebound effect.
Yeah.
All night long, your nervous system is fighting back. It's trying to counteract the sedative.
Ah.
So you fall asleep fast, but the quality is poor, and then your body spends the whole second half of the night trying to fight its way out of sedation. You wake up feeling unrested, maybe a little anxious, cognitively sluggish.
And that adds up over time.
It's cumulative.
Yeah.
By month 3, many people report this deep, unshakable fatigue. And they'll blame it on stress or getting older, but they never connect it back to their nightly glass of wine.
Let's talk about something more visible, the mechanics of the habit, the calories, the strain on your metabolism. So we're talking 2 drinks, which is about 300 calories. They're often called empty calories. Now, if you project that out over 6 months, that's 180 days, that daily habit adds up to 54,000 extra calories.
The math is unforgiving. If your diet and exercise habits stay the same, 54,000 extra calories means you'll gain about 15 pounds. It's one of the clearest signals that the body is taking and more than it can handle. And it's not just the calories themselves, you have to look at the metabolic effect.
What do you mean?
When the liver is always busy processing alcohol, it has to burn that alcohol first. That process actually puts a pause on your body's ability to burn dietary fat. It's a systemic slowdown.
So it makes it harder to manage your weight in general.
Much harder.
If we connect this to the bigger picture,
Yeah.
then we have to talk about the heart. How is the cardiovascular system dealing with this?
It's handling it poorly. Even moderate daily drinking puts a constant tax on your entire circulatory system. At first, alcohol causes your blood vessels to widen.
Right, that warming sensation some people feel.
Exactly.
Right.
But with chronic daily use, it actually leads to vasoconstriction. Your arteries tighten up. This makes the heart work harder to push blood through the system, and that leads to chronically elevated blood pressure, hypertension.
So it's not one big event, it's just this low-grade stress every single day for half a year.
Precisely. That consistent elevated pressure strains the walls of your arteries and, over time, significantly increases your risk for heart disease. Your body is basically in a constant state of low-grade cardiovascular alert.
Okay, now here's where it gets really interesting for me. The neurochemistry. Why dependence actually develops. Because within 6 months, people will notice they need more alcohol to get the same feeling.
Right.
Their tolerance is building.
And tolerance is, by definition, the first step toward dependence. We can trace it directly to the brain trying to find balance. Homeostasis.
Can you walk us through how that works chemically?
Absolutely. So alcohol is a depressant. It enhances the effects of a neurotransmitter called GABA. Think of GABA as the brain's main brake pedal.
Right.
Alcohol pushes that brake pedal down hard. That's why you feel relaxed, sedated. But when alcohol is there every single day, the brain basically says, whoa, this brake is way too strong. To compensate, it physically reduces the number of GABA receptors.
So the brain is actively building up a resistance to it.
Exactly. So now you need more alcohol just to get the same calming effect from the fewer receptors you have left. That's tolerance. But the real danger starts when the alcohol leaves your system.
Because the brain is suddenly running without its chemical brakes?
Not only that, but the accelerator systems, mainly glutamate, have also been ramping up to fight the sedation. So when the alcohol is gone, the brake, GABA, is weak, and the accelerator, glutamate, is floored. That imbalance is what causes the anxiety, the restlessness, the bad sleep, and eventually the intense cravings that define physical dependence.
The source material really highlighted that for many people, the inability to stop drinking isn't just about willpower. It's a lack of understanding of what alcohol is doing to the brain, to your emotions.
It explains it perfectly. After 6 months, the nervous system is operating as if alcohol is a required input. The dependency isn't just physical craving, it's emotional. Alcohol has been chemically managing your stress response that whole time. Your brain has learned to use it to find balance. And taking it away leaves the nervous system just raw, exposed, and completely deregulated.
That's a powerful way to put it.
The psychological struggle is a direct result of that physiological adaptation.
That feels key to understanding the full picture. But there was some good news in the sources, a path forward, the body's incredible ability to regenerate.
Yes, this is a crucial pivot. For all the damage we've laid out, the human body is incredibly resilient, and the liver especially is one of the few organs that can almost completely regenerate itself.
Yeah, so when the daily drinking stops, recovery can be pretty quick.
It can be. The signs of improvement can start within just a few weeks of stopping. Those elevated liver enzymes, ALT and AST, they start to drop pretty quickly because the inflammation subsides.
And the fat that was building up.
It begins to reverse because the liver can finally get back to its job of metabolizing fat properly.
So that initial fatty liver stage, that can actually reverse itself completely.
In these early stages, yes, absolutely. Liver function can significantly recover within a few months. When you just remove that constant stressor, the liver can stop fighting and start repairing. It just shows you the power of consistency, but in reverse.
Right. Consistent sobriety lets the body's own healing systems do their job.
Exactly.
So what does this all mean? I mean, the 6-month mark really shows that moderate daily drinking is not a neutral habit. We've got fat accumulating in the liver within weeks, chronic fatigue by month 3, serious weight gain, cardiovascular strain, and maybe most importantly, the brain literally rewiring itself down the road to dependence.
I think the biggest takeaway is that this is systemic. It's physical, it's metabolic, and it's neurological. That 6-month threshold proves that even what we think of as moderate amounts of alcohol, when they're consumed consistently, fundamentally alter every major system in your body. And we talked about how the liver, a physical organ, can heal so much in just a few months. But the sources also pointed to the deep impact on the nervous system and emotions as the real drivers of dependence. So that raises an important question for you, the listener, to think about. How does that physical recovery timeline, the liver healing in months, differ from the time it takes to fully reset the brain, to reset the nervous system and all those emotional patterns that have adapted to alcohol? What might those long-term neurological shifts look like? And how long does it really take for that delicate balance between GABA and glutamate to find its true equilibrium again?